Okay. How does one get started when they are struggling to make ends meet? Couple things, right? If you're trying to make modeling a source of income, you should already have a source of income. Let's start there. When I first started modeling, I was in college. There's very few times in your life where you're going to be broker than you were in college. I made sure I had a part-time job before I started trying to make modeling a source of income. I did not start modeling and say, hey, modeling needs to support me now. No, I had a job, I was in school, and I decided that I wanted to pursue modeling. If I was struggling to make ends meet, I would get more means to make ends meet. I would not be, I don't think that you guys understand. Like, modeling is not a, I do this today, I get paid tomorrow type of industry. So if you don't have a job and you're trying to make modeling your job, realize it is not going to happen the same way that you get paid traditionally. Because when you go to a job, you're going to get that money in 2 weeks. Somebody's going to put you on payroll and you are going to get a check every week or every 2 weeks. Some people it's once a month, but those are anomalies, right? You do the work, you get the pay on a scheduled time. Modeling is not like that. There are some jobs where you're going to get paid right after. There are other jobs where it's going to take you 90 days. There's other jobs where it's going to take 6 months and you got to start filing some paperwork. There are some jobs where it takes 30 days, 45. It is not a set schedule. So if you're struggling to make ends meet and you're doing modeling as a side gig to make some extra money, you need to understand this is not Instacart, this is not Uber, this is, you are going to wait to get paid. So if you are struggling to make ends meet, maybe you should not be focusing on modeling right now. Maybe you should put that attention to something that is going to make you more stable. There is a reason why the best models inside of Model University are models who have full-time jobs. Because, well, two reasons for that. One, they are not stressing about paying their bills because the modeling jobs that they did have not paid them yet. Why? They have a full-time job. Yeah. Two, because they have a full-time job, they have a limited amount of time to actually learn the information and apply the information. So guess what? They get really good at learning the information as they're going to work, learning the information as they're on their lunch break, learning their information on the ride home, and then implementing it on their off days, on the weekends. They are able to put together a bulletproof system that continues to work for them because they have so few time to do anything else. So they are very intentional and they are not worried about their bills. So they're able to book jobs without an agency or changing their location. They're able to not worry about where their next check is going to come from because they are stable. If you are not stable and you're trying to use modeling to become stable, you have grossly misinterpreted how this industry works. Okay. So if you are one of them, and this is not like an attack or anything like that, but if you are part-time and you don't really have that much extra money, like, you might have like $50, a month or $100 extra a month to invest inside of modeling, understand free is only going to get you so far. Photo shoots don't cost $100. Making a portfolio does not cost $100. Travel expenses do not cost $100. Upkeep, maintenance does not cost $100. So, and when I say it doesn't cost $100, I mean it costs more. I hate to break it to you. So modeling, anybody can get started for free. But remember, free is only going to take you so far. Free might get you jobs that are paying a couple $100 total, or $25 an hour, and it might be great for spending money, a little throwaway money, little extra money, little fun money on the side, but it is not going to sustain you. The money that you get from modeling with no investment is not going to be enough to sustain you or to replace your full-time job or your part-time job. That's not how it works. It never does. Because free is only going to take you so far. Free will only get you a certain quality of portfolio. Free will only get you a certain quality of how you show up and present yourself. Free will only get you certain connections. You understand what I'm saying? Free will only get you so far. So even though, yeah, you could chill here in the group chat, you could learn a whole bunch of stuff in the podcast, you can take some notes from our social media, you can jot down information from the blog. Understand there's going to come a time where free only gets you so far. And the reason I can say that is because I lived it. I'm going to tell you the story and I'm going to go. I got to the point where after like 2 years of like modeling, I made some money here and there, but I just couldn't get paid more than like $200 at the time. I just couldn't make more than that. Like it didn't matter what I did, it didn't matter how good I was for the job. It just wasn't happening, right? And so I was coming from a job, I think like in Hollywood or Doral, one of those two. I was coming from another photo shoot. My face and makeup was already done, and I had another shoot on the beach in like North Miami. So I go to the beach and my model mentor is there. Her husband is getting into photography. So I decided to do a shoot with them, right? This is all free. Came from one free shoot, going to do another free shoot. Again, her husband was very, very talented. The photo came out great. But I was frustrated and she was just like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm doing all this work. I'm doing all these shoots. I'm going all around town. And like people just like don't want to pay me. Nobody wants to pay me more money for this. Nobody wants to, book me for bigger jobs. And she's like, okay, show me your portfolio. I showed her my portfolio. She's like, I see the problem. And I'm like, what? She's like, your portfolio isn't speaking to what they're trying to hire and who they're trying to hire. There was a nice way of saying that like my portfolio wasn't a good representation of me. And she was right. It had really cool photos that I liked that were like edgy and like my hair was all these different colors and styles and shapes and I had on all these different looks and I had all this extreme makeup. And because I did not understand my market, because I didn't understand the type of clientele that was there, I did not get why, these major companies, major brands didn't want to hire me and I could do all this stuff. It's because that's not what they were looking for. And I did not have anything that showed what they were looking for. And she's like, hey, you're going to have to invest in your portfolio. You're going to have to hire a photographer. I think she spent like 500 on hers at the time. This was like a while back. So she's like, you're going to have to, I'll send you the information for this photographer. You're going to have to upgrade your portfolio. And in my mind, I'm just like, $500 is so much money. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I didn't do anything. I continued to struggle for at least like another few months of not getting booked, not getting higher paid jobs, and just doing all this work because I did not want to invest in myself because, I just didn't have the money, right? When I finally said, like, you know what, I'm just going to listen to her, I invested, I think like somewhere between like $250 to $500. I know I didn't go over five. Once I did that shoot and I put it in my portfolio and I updated my social media and all of my platforms, I literally booked 2 jobs that paid, I think, $500 each. So like I know I made like double from that one investment. And it's because one, I had a job. So I had money, right? And two, I finally saw some things are worth investing the money so that I can make more money quicker. And if you currently have a job, right, but you are struggling to make ends meet, there could be a lot of reasons for that. I'm a model coach, but I'm not your model coach. So I don't know. I'm not in your pockets. It could be how you're budgeting. It could be debts that you have. It could be, you enjoy Beyonce tickets more than having a paying modeling career. It could be anything, right? But if you are making money, you have the potential to make more money at your job. Ask for a raise, get a better job. But do not turn to modeling as the solution when modeling is also going to ask for investments from you. And if you're not in a space where you're going to invest the money, you're going to invest the time. So something that could have taken you 2 weeks to start making additional income as a model is not going to take you 2 years because you're doing it all on your own, because you personally think you don't have the money. Even if you do. Now, if you really don't have the money and you really are struggling to make ends meet, then you should not be focused on how do I start modeling. You should be focused on how do I make more money. Once you understand how to financially support yourself with your job, then you can turn your attention to building a modeling career, not the reverse. Hopefully that helps.